At last, you have arrived. All of this time, waiting, and only now does one possess the power to see me.
It's surprising that a game like Shin Megami Tensei V can even exist in the way that it does. It's a heavily marketed, big publisher JRPG that is absolutely uncompromising in its vision. The game has an intricate and demanding battle system that pushes you to explore its depths at every opportunity. While the series has long been known for these qualities, they're sharpened to a deadly degree here. Not only that, but SMT5 breaks with its own standard, incorporating unconventional exploration that feels very much like it's from an action-adventure game or platformer. The storytelling does ultimately cling too closely to the well-worn SMT template, but its tone feels so singular in the genre that it still carries a lot of appeal.
And I keep having that dream every night. Kinda getting to me. I wish someone could tell me what it all means.
Probably a reflection of something subconscious. Maybe you're just stressed over the future.
It's important to understand just how different SMT5 is from so many others in its genre. There aren't constant barrages of cutscenes here or a laborious amount of dialogue. It's a game that relies on its combat, and you arguably spend more time fighting than doing anything else. But because the combat is so rich and fulfilling, it's far more engaging than many others in a notoriously repetitive genre. It also doesn't take an eternity to get to the heart of what makes the battle system great, since you're thrust into extremely intense fights relatively quickly. Something to make clear is that SMT5 is difficult, very difficult. Normal mode in this game feels as though it would be a higher difficulty in many others. SMT5 is the kind of game where you can easily get ambushed by an enemy and lose chunks of progress. What's vital to understand is that the game isn't great simply because it is hard, but that its brutal battles reinforce every other element of the design. All of the game's various aspects have an incredible value as a result of their necessity. To expand on the idea, enemies earn extra actions in combat by exploiting your team's weaknesses or by scoring critical hits, which means they get more opportunities to hack off huge amounts of health and put you in the ground. In order to ward against this, an effective strategy is to infuse your main character with affinities that may nullify or resist certain types of damage, since if the main character dies, it's game over. However, affinities come in the form of demon essence, and once you use the essence, it's gone. You also have to choose between consuming a demon essence for its affinities or for various skills to use in combat, which may give you the upper hand in many ways. These skills include extremely powerful elemental spells, crucial buffs, or essential healing. You can only shield yourself against so many types of damage, and you have a limited number of skill slots to fill up, so you are constantly sacrificing one thing for something else. There's no illusion of choice here. Each decision has a reverberating effect, and it's impossible to go on autopilot for too long because threats remain varied throughout the game's very lengthy duration.
Watch this.
However, if it was only the combat that was remarkable, SMT5 wouldn't be as ascendant as it is. Even new additions like Magatsui skills and miracles expand the already fantastic foundation that has been the soul of Shin Megami Tensei, and part of the reason it has such a fervent cult following. It's the quality of exploration that pushes not only the series forward, but really the entire genre. Stereotypically, JRPGs are very stiff when it comes to movement, but even when compared to more limber examples that don't fit such a mold, SMT5 is notably fluid and responsive. Even simple acts like dashing around the world, gliding down sand dunes, or hopping from ledge to ledge are enjoyable in their own right. What really makes it all work, though, is just how truly excellent the world design is. SMT5 takes full advantage of its post-apocalyptic setting in ways that make traveling through its environments more rewarding. You'll run over a collapsed train serving as an unexpected bridge, ascend to the top of a toppled building, and weave through mountains of rubble. The devastation makes for maps that are deliciously complex. There are moments when you'll see treasure tantalizing you on the map, and you'll have to figure out how to chart your way toward it. It may mean something along the lines of finding out how to climb the monstrous towers above you, meticulously jumping from one section to the next. The puzzling nature of it is honestly not that much different from any renowned platformer. Because encounters aren't random, it allows players to enjoy exploration without constantly being interrupted. Yet enemies are placed throughout areas in such a way that they still feel dangerous. You'll want to comb over as much of the map as you can because of how essential the rewards are. The demanding combat strongly encourages you to take every advantage you can get. Again, it's a symbiotic relationship with the different aspects of the game perpetually enhancing one another. Where exploration falls a bit short, though, is in the variety of environments. Most of the game really is just different implementations of rubble and sand. When things do get more outlandish, it is noticeable and appreciated. Even with such criticism in mind, there is some merit to SMT5's approach. The serpentine design places a consistent emphasis on the apocalyptic nature of the world. Each area is so carefully constructed that it's a wonder to behold, and the demons exude so much personality simply through how they look. The music also greatly enhances the setting. While the expected rock tracks work, it's an especially nice touch that the main battle theme doesn't kick into high gear until you take an action. It's the more subdued pieces that stick with you. There's a haunting, distant, almost alien vibe to some of the tracks that creates a general sense of unease. Such a sense of dread is well earned when a boss unapologetically kicks your teeth in, making the atmosphere feel authentic. The biggest points of criticism apply to the narrative, but even then, there's a lot to praise. Since it's SMT, it's no surprise that Tokyo is destroyed, but SMT5 plays with your expectations just enough to make the premise clever and interesting, even if you're a well-worn fan. Sadly, the game doesn't go quite far enough, and its ambitions peter out in the second half. It predictably establishes and develops warring ideologies in a manner that feels too familiar with what's come before. The decision of who you align with is a sort of here we go again moment. Similarly, the most emotional scene happens roughly halfway through the game, and it's a shame that the story can't continue the momentum. Side quests also disappoint. The rewards are definitely worth it, but the context surrounding them is usually little more than kill this or collect that. The writing is generally underwhelming and boilerplate, making a lot of the quests feel entirely forgettable. With all that said, SMT5 still feels strikingly distinct. There's an unflinching honesty in how it portrays events in the main narrative that's refreshing in a genre grossly overstuffed with nauseatingly simple and saccharine solutions. Instead, SMT5 expresses that sometimes, even though you believe in something with absolute conviction, you lose and are proven wrong. Sometimes there is no silver lining to a tragedy, and bad things happen to well-intentioned people. It's bleak, certainly, but no less valid. Exploration of the tragic can be more cathartic and genuine than just pretending everything will be fine, simply because we want it to be.
If you wish to live, take my hand.
It's exactly why the industry needs more games like SMT5. Instead of aggressively sanding off any and all edges in order to appeal to the broadest audience possible, the game takes the exact opposite approach. It not only wears those edges like gleaming badges of honor, but is fully intending to stab you in the throat with them. It wants to challenge you, to desperately shake you out of complacency. SMT5 is not a game for everyone, far from it, but what it trades for accessibility, it gains in depth and lasting satisfaction.
My name is Nua. Prepare to die.
Final score, 9 out of 10. Need a chance to yell at your screen and say, I know this one? Check out Mysterious Monsters, our original game show with new trivia, guests, and good vibes, every month here on Easy Allies. Everything we do is made possible by generous viewers just like you. Check out patreon.com/easyallies to help us make more. For just $1 a month, you can gain access to weekly updates, spoiler discussions, and exclusive shows.